All righty. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very special guest here tonight. But before I introduce him, just welcome you guys to the call. And we will keep it pretty short, folks. But there is a very, very special event coming up that we're going to chat about tonight, just for about 10 minutes or so you guys can get an understanding of exactly what is on offer. But before we do that, we'll give a couple of stragglers a bit of time to come in. I'll just welcome you guys to the call. Welcome, Barnett. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, Peter Evans. Hope you're well, mate. I did forget to write back to your message, Peter, so my apologies. I'll definitely get back to you. Rachel Hayes, welcome to the call. Robin McKean, great to have you. Rodney Bowery, fantastic. The wonderful Rosetta Bolzomi, great to have you, Rosetta, and Katia as well. I'm sure a few more people will tune in, but let's get straight to it. As the agenda rolls on and on, the power of community cannot be overstated. And one person who has been really strong in the community and living in the solution and is a founder of this incredible organization called the Living Free Movement is the one and only Tom Barnett. How are you, Tom?
Great. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, always good to see you, mate. Always good to see you. I'm always just frothing off your energy, man. You have such an awesome outlook on life and the people that you've aligned with as part of the Living Free movement. I thought the best way we could get the call off tonight is helping people understand just what is the Living Free movement. And then from there, we'll, I guess, move over into the event that you guys have on the horizon. So if we could start on that, Tom, what is the vision of the Living Free movement and what are you guys working on at present?
Sure. So Living Free Movement is designed to give people the tools they need to make their way through life more on their terms. So we've got a lawful section, a health section, growing off grid. We've got a spiritual section, which is a non-religious look at the lessons in the Bible. We've got a private marketplace, Optimize Me, and an academy, which is like a alternative learning program, you would call it. So, or alternative education, I think it's a better way to put it. So yeah, we're working on this festival that's coming up, and it's basically bringing together people in the real world to encapsulate a lot of what we talk about and bring in people from America, people from interstate. It's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, we can chat about that.
Yeah, and tell me, how long has Living Free Movement been going for now? Because I know some of your founding members include Nick Patterson, yeah? Dave Armstrong, is it Darren Dixon as well? You've got some incredibly powerful, I guess, founders there. Tell us a bit more about where you're at since you first started.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years. So me and Dave Armstrong started it. Dave was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he reached out to me to start a health-based platform. But because it was in the middle of all the nonsense that was going on, we realized that people needed other kinds of solutions and help in other aspects of their life. So we grew from a single platform to multiple platforms and then just called it Living Free Movement. Yeah, we got Nick Patterson, we got Darren Dixon, we got a few other people that are very high caliber collaborators to give people, you know, a lot of the information that they really are, well, two things. One, that they're looking for, and then oftentimes it's what they don't even know they're looking for because they think that there's kind of like an answer somewhere that's never been, like, it's just kind of people talking nonsense out there. So it's all just stuff that actually helps in the real world.
And before we get on to the event that's coming up, so I want to be mindful of your time and everyone's time, but what's your take on kind of where we are at the moment? There's lots of talk of new censorship, lots of talk of digital ID. There's a lot of fear out there in the moment. There's been some radical violence going on out there as well. How are you kind of navigating this, especially from a leadership role, when people in your Living Free community say, "Oh, Tom, digital ID, it's all over. Big Brother's going to take my money," and all this sort of stuff. How are you navigating that within your own community?
Well, once you move more into the private, it's really you're on your own terms anyway. So all of that stuff really only affects the public system. So everything that we do really helps people move from the public system to the private system, which is not just like, you know, it's not just things like bank accounts or how you do business. It's how you operate personally as well. So what standing you have, getting to know yourself better, and therefore you're not operating in those fear mechanisms and those fear wavelengths. You're really just helping to create something of value. So for those that aren't aware, public and private is essentially this, that the private is that of substance and the public is that of fiction. So there's no inherent meaning, substance, or value in anything that's a fiction. So as people are learning, they're really learning to discern like what out there is actually real and of substance and real value, like what can actually affect you personally and what can't. Some of it can, but it's actually compared to what can't, it's like it's nowhere near what people would think. And if people only knew that, they wouldn't have anywhere near the amount of fear and trepidation about the future as they do now. So that's really what we focus on.
Brilliant. Man, we could talk much further about this, but I do want to stay on topic tonight. The event is coming up on what are the dates again? Forgive me.
24th August, so not long away. So 24th August, the 24th and 25th, but we're actually going to open it up on the Friday for people to get in. There'll be a few events on and camping, so then everyone's all set for the Saturday and the Sunday.
Bloody fantastic! It's so awesome. It's actually leading up to my birthday as well, so I might just throw my birthday there in the mix
Yeah, yeah.
among the campers. But look, I think it's perfect timing actually because we haven't had a big get together of like-minded people for a long time. And what I love about what you're doing is you're not just bringing in, I guess, people who are angry at the agenda. It's a solutions focused festival. Give us a bit more of an idea of what to expect for those who are going to attend. I'm 100% obviously going to attend. I can't wait. I think it's critical timing and of huge importance. But when we come to solutions, yeah, give us a bit of an idea of what's going to be on offer during the event.
Yeah, for sure. So the main things is it's going to be so the main premise for it, it's not really what you're learning, it's what you're there to experience and how to shift into something that's more empowered and powerful for yourself. So being around the right kinds of people where you don't feel alone, you're really getting a sense of there's a lot of hope, there's a lot that's actually being done and created that people might not be aware of. And getting together to mix with people that are all on that kind of wavelength. So then in addition to that, we've got Cal Washington coming from America, right? I think he's actually from Canada. But if for those that aren't familiar with Cal, he's pioneered the notices of liability, and they've already had successes in stopping some 5G towers going up. There's been people leave offices in like politics because they're really quite scared of being held liable for a lot of the lies that they've been perpetuating over the years. So that's already having a lot of effect. So he'll be doing a talk and talking more about the notices of liability and how you can use them effectively. Then we got Alex Zek coming from America and also Mike Winner, part of the Alpha Vedic crew, and he runs Music and Sky Festival in the States, so he's coming over as well. And then, yeah, we've got a bunch of people from interstate too, and then we've got music. So it's pretty much speakers, workshops where you actually get to, dig in and learn some things that are very useful and helpful, whether it's, learning more about the law stuff or health or off-grid living or doing some breath stuff, doing some, some exercises that can help improve your personal power. And then music. So we got, I think, something like 20 or so music guests on the lineup. So not
Wow.
everything's announced so far. We'll be announcing more closer to the date, but there's already enough there that should give people a really good sense of what they can experience.
I think an event like this, especially a longer one, is a radically important networking event to connect with people, swap phone numbers, swap contact details, actually sit down belly to belly, eye to eye, and actually really connect with people because there's only so much we can do on Zoom and so on as well, but actually being in a beautiful environment, like you said before, on that wavelength and having all of these people from all over the country and from many parts of the world all there at the same time. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people to connect, to like-minded people. Is that, I guess, a big part of the purpose of this, or that's just going to be a natural byproduct? Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's one of the main purposes because again, like people just don't know what else is out there because a lot of people are in their own bubbles. Like you got people that are in, la la land bubbles, don't know what's going on. You got people that are stuck in bubbles where they're very fearful about the world, but they're just not aware of what else is happening. So getting people together in a melting pot is going to help people connect to maybe, like who knows what, like open up travel opportunities, open up business opportunities, just open up new networking opportunities for friendships. We're already talking about maybe even having like a dating tent, like a speed dating tent, because we got like a date me platform going to launch on the side as well. So
That's
if
cool.
people are already in that boat, that they've kind of like they're on a certain wavelength already. Like they're going to be on your cotton page, you know.
Well, and that's the big thing. Like, that will be a hugely successful platform once that's up and off the ground. Because one of the big issues that we face is people don't want to date people who have participated in the injections for obvious reasons, you know,
Yeah.
and not just because of the shedding and because of the potential health consequences. It's a consciousness thing. It's an alignment thing. Anyone who's gone down that road, you're probably not going to be on the same page anyway. And so, a dating app that would obviously be aligned to that kind of thinking is a bloody brilliant idea. This sounds awesome, Tom. Look, I don't want to keep too much of your time, but we do have a discount code for my community as well. So anyone who's thinking of buying tickets, you can use the discount code ONEES. I'll put that in Telegram as well. But I did want to ask you, Tom, how many tickets in total are there? Because my feeling is this is going to sell out really quick.
Yeah, so we're going to look for around 1,000. The property, it's a private property. It's about an hour north of Coffs and an hour and a half south of Byron. So it's around like the Pillar Valley region. And it's on a 600 and something acre property that backs onto National Park. But the actual like festival area that's already set up for this kind of thing will hold about 1,000. So we might bring more in. We'll see. We need to see how we set it up because you know, we're looking at bringing in extra stages. There's no limit to it really, but we're going to cap it at about 1,000. So yeah, for those that are thinking of it, obviously the sooner you get in, the better. But like there's already, I'm not sure how many. I think it's like close to 200 sold already because there was already a lot of people from the platform jumped on straight away. People have already booked flights from WA and Victoria and other places to come in and camp. So there's camping on site, but there's also campgrounds nearby as well at like Mini Water, a few other places nearby, as well as, you know, your standard kind of accommodation for those that don't want to do camping. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome to camp with a whole bunch of cool people. So for those that like camping, I think it'll be good fun, but there are other accommodation options within 15 minutes of the festival site. And yeah, so there's just to give you an idea, it's around 220 for a single ticket for the whole event, 270-ish for camping included, and there's like a family option for around I think it's 550 odd. But if you go through Dave, because you guys are all part of Dave's network, if you use his code ONEEGS, we wanted to make this so that it's you know, it's like the community bringing the community. So for those that are going to bring in their community, we'll give them a discount stuff because it saves us from having to market and things like that. So yeah, Dave's got a code and it's at livingfreefestival.org. You can get on there and have a look. And for those that aren't aware, what the private is, you got to go through the site first to get all the extra details. What that does is it protects the festival and the participants against anything in the public. So what's the public? That's the council, the police, the like anything that people might be worried about for some reason. Not that there is anything to worry about. It's already got council approval. It's got everything's like what you would call above board in the public. But making it private means that you're protected against the type of people that might make an event like that not as much fun, as in just the participants, because you essentially form an agreement by coming to the festival. So it makes it very safe. And it brings it into the kind of world where I think people want, you know, people want to be more peer to peer. They don't want to be governed by, you know, third party interlopers, you call them. And they don't want to be told what they can and can't do as long as they're not being mischievous and causing harm and loss to the land and their neighbors and things. So it's really simple. You know, just that alone is a good picture of where people are going to get a feel for as they come to a festival like that. And what if they want to, you know, take up their learning further after that too. And that's what people can learn about. That's how you do relationships. That's how you do business. That's how you can, you know, travel even. There's a lot of different ways to do things. When you bring it into the private, it's much, much closer to God, you could call it.
Funny you say that, Tom. I was just making a video earlier about that, and this whole decline in society that many people are witnessing at the moment across the board, whether it be, you know, different transgenders, for instance, reading in preschools, or different levels of violence, or different levels of road rage, alcoholism. The suicide rate is like 8 men in Australia every day taking their lives. Most of this can be looked at in direct correlation to society turning its back on God, or turning its back on a divine creator, source of consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And as they try and take things like the 10 Commandments, which are basically, in those 10 Commandments are basically do no harm. right? And the more we move away from those basic tenets or commandments, the more decline we see in society. And that's all we're fundamentally coming back to, I think, or where so many people are looking, how do we get back to a society that doesn't hurt me and doesn't hurt my neighbor and doesn't hurt the land and the world that we live in? And as this whole kind of shit show unfolds at the moment, it's got its kind of role to play, which we all go, wow, everything that we've tried to do without being in alignment with the kind of universal will, it just goes to shit. So how do we get back in line with that? How do we get back in alignment? It's actually really simple. Like all the complexities of the world are actually solved by coming back to that initial premise of just do no harm, and then the golden rule of just treating others how you want to be treated. Like it's actually really simple. And with that as the basis of this whole festival and the sorts of people it's going to attract, I think it's going to be an epic event, man. I'm frothing.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty excited. It's mostly like you said, it's not really the speakers, the music, the workshops, like that's all cool, but it's the community really it's being able to get together with people who just want to take things to another level, like first of all within themselves and then forming those kinds of bonds and relationships and then taking that out into the world and being the change rather than, waiting for some muppet in some office that doesn't do anything anyway to change it for them. It's not how it works. Like we change it. So that's really this is the basis for it.
Yeah, and I could not agree with you more. That's the ultimate realization I've come to over the last several months is that nothing is going to change until we've done the work internally and that we've become the example that we want to see in the world. And that's our responsibility. I believe that's what we chose to be here for. I believe that's what the creator wants us to do and will support us to do. And man, I just want to thank you for all of your incredible work and for putting this event on. I can't imagine how much work it is in the background. It's no doubt a big job to organize such a huge event. But before we wrap up the call, Tom, any final message to anyone out there who's thinking of coming along?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're thinking of coming along, this is the kind of thing you've been waiting for. I don't think there's anything that's been done like this, even in other countries. That's why we're bringing in international guests to come. So if you want to be part of something that is creating the new, then come to this. And then, this one goes well, the next one's bigger and longer. The next one then becomes eventually like a Woodford Folk Festival with it's a week long, with multiple venues within the venue and a lot of people, but all on the same wavelength. Like imagine that. Imagine not being the minority anymore. Imagine like inspiring so many people that you're no longer like, we've already created a new world essentially, and it starts with us. So if that's like, up your alley, then this is the event.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be huge, guys. If you are seeing this, please be aware there's only 1,000 tickets. There's already over 200 gone. The event is in August. I believe the next 800 tickets will probably go in the next 4 or 5 weeks, if may possibly less. So get your tickets while you can. There is a promo code for our community that Tom has generously put together. Sorry, my internet is lagging. Is my internet okay there?
Yeah, it's all good. Your voice didn't drop out. You just picture froze for a sec, but you're all good.
Froze. Was it a good freeze? You get my good side. But yeah, guys, this will sell out is my point. And you don't want to miss this because we are at a critical time, not just for our nation, but for the world. And I believe for the whole universe. I feel like everything is converging and we are here. I believe we are incredibly sacred, powerful beings, and we need to be surrounded with those who think like us, who are like-minded, and we want to work together. So once again, Tom, you're doing amazing work. On behalf of everyone on the call tonight, thanks so much for everything you do. And I'll see you soon. And with the rest of us, can't wait to see you at the Living Free Movement Festival coming up on the 23rd
24th.
of August? 24th of August.
Yeah. It'll start on the 23rd, basically. So yeah, 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Rock and roll, baby. Awesome to see you, Tom. Catch up soon, bro.
Thanks, Dave. See you, mate.
Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.